First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And he won't quite make it to the 25. They'll run for the first time with a speedster, Jahmyr Gibbs. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And you look at this Saints defense. Now they're going to be tough to throw on, no doubt. Currently ranked 3rd in the NFL against the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB. They'd easily move into the top 5.
2nd and 9 now. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. First down, Lions on a pickup of 13.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A toss out right to Gibbs. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
As a linebacker, you're taught to stay just slightly behind the ball carrier just in case he makes a cutback. But when you find the gap, shoot it. And he found it all right. Took it straight into the backfield and made the tackle for a loss.
Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. Looking to throw. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
This now a 3rd and 4. They'll set up to throw. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down. Here's Ethan Evans now. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Going quickly there, but it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He'll find Shaheed out to the right. And this defense rallies, and they stop him short of the first down right near the 24. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. A 41-yard punt there with no return, and the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. On the end around, here comes Williams. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. You look at this Saints defense. We know they're going to be tough to throw on. Top 3 in the NFL defending the pass.
They may be ranked 3rd against the pass in the league, but they're the best that I've seen so far. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the full story.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
That was well played, but that's also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They're going to look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Corum now on 1st and 10. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. Now a 2nd and 6. He'll look to throw. And he rifles one incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. They'll set up a throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
And his kick is good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So after drive number 3 here, we have a score, and it's 3 points after the field goal.
I would say the feeling out process for both these teams, I'd say it's over, partner. Everyone understands what's going on now. You've kind of probed a little bit. Now you want to start throwing the big shots. First 3 points up on the board could be significant.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Second and 10. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And shutting him off. Now open field. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 23 yards the pickup there.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 35-yard line. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Nothing after 1 on EA Sports. The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up. They'll look to throw here. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions 16. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So the ball down to the 16 here for first and 10. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Saints have taken the lead.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone. I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass. Let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
So from the 37, here's second down and 3. Now McCarthy. Wide open receiver complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Now a play fake here on first down. That is caught by Laporta. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
The Lions had 0-3 here to begin the campaign. And you hate to have to say it this early in the season, but getting close to must-win time, is it not?
And I totally understand why you expressed it that way, because it's so early in the season it feels like hyperbole. But I think you are spot on this one. Yes, there's still time to turn things around, but they've got to start to win right now if they have any hopes of trying to make the playoffs.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
The Lions on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll run with Gibbs. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. They run straight ahead with Corum. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Back to throw here. Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are once again back in front. An out route there for the score, a quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands, knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they haven't had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
2nd and 14. Buying time to his left.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. They'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. He was out there waving his arm saying throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball. And he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd down and 4. He'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They'll look to throw now on 1st down, and that is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a give to Gibbs, running left. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. Oh, and that is well read defensively. A great job of setting the edge, and that little touch pass is going to turn into a loss. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
2nd and 13. That's complete. Demario Douglas with it. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now back to throw. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
2nd down and 4. Again, he'll drop to throw. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And the Lions would extend their lead here just before halftime. Point after here coming up. It's good to make it 17-7. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. He'll look to throw. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Here's 2nd and 7. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first.
Well, that was a pretty good time for his first catch of the ball game, and it turned into a huge play as well. He's certainly not been a central part of this passing game so far in this one, but he made his presence felt there. A big pickup on 3rd down.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
Good solid gain on 1st down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
From the 24 now, here's 2nd and 6. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. And the Lions are going to get the football back at their own 17. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
Tackle made by Chase Young.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Able to hook up with Williams here on the out route. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Looking to throw. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's fourth down.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll set up to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. That is caught, finding space at the 40. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A big play that time on the catch and run. 33 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Looking middle, and that's complete. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. Well, let's see who's faster.
They'll come up now 3rd and 9. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 31. On play action, they'll throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone. But the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
So 2nd and 10 now here in the 3rd quarter from Detroit. Here's a give up the middle. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Ninth play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. He'll look to throw. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
Here's 2nd and 8. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. They'll run the toss here with Corum to about the 48-yard line. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
They'll come up 2nd and 7. They're going to look to throw. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Boy, every time I see speed like that off the edge, Charles, I just don't know how these offensive linemen do it. I would think that they would get called for holding every play, and maybe they should have been called for holding on that one.
Yeah, maybe not just holding, but sometimes you end up setting back in the offensive backfield a little bit farther to try and help you with the edge. That's a penalty as well. Sometimes you overset. They'll come inside of you. That's what speed does. It disrupts an offense. And right now, you've got to pay attention to this edge rusher on every single down.
And that will be incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
And they call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
They'll set up a throw. His throw incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him. Find him.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 4 of 7. This is going to be 3rd and 13. They'll look to throw here. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Inside handoff now. Miller. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the fourth quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 37. A nice pickup of 17 yards. But that last throw, Charles, puts him over 15,000 yards passing now for his career.
And, Brandon, they're not going to stop the game and give him the game ball here, but that's still a pretty impressive number, and he's got plenty of more good football ahead of him. Although I would say the team should give him a game ball after it's all over.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 40 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 12-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They've moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Back to throw here. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Touchdown! A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints put together a fourth-quarter drive to take the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's was right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. This is 1st and 10. Back to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Here's 2nd down. They'll look to throw again. He finds his man complete. It's Underwood. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints 40. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout. Gibbs on the toss left. And he stopped immediately there.
Partner, you get about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 15-yard line. And now all of a sudden, the shoe's kind of on the other foot. Maybe you pull the reins back here a bit?
Yeah, a little bit because you got to make sure that you don't score too quickly.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. The give right side for Gibbs. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17.
I know they got a little yardage there, but I'm not sure their investment is right. They're still running the football, and I'm not sure there's enough time to continue to do that.
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. They'll look to throw. Well, this is caught by Williams. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
A big play here. 3rd and 2. Back to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds. Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. Here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Here's 1st down. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So for Detroit, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they too will leave here at 1-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.